And live again. Directed energy weapons in Vershire, Vermont. Yes, it's still going on 3 years later. Let me tell you something. These nitwits, they're using a sonic channel, ultrasonic. They're using the power grid, a covert signal. Okay? They're here. They're doing it. Okay? These are what they call weapons of mass destruction, WMDs, right? Radiation weapons. They put off RADs, RAD, which are an increment or measurement of energy that affects human tissue. Okay? They're here. Right? Now, this is what? You think the government's aware of this, right? I'm looking. I don't see no police. I don't see no like test equipment anywhere. No one's like solving the problem anywhere. You know, I don't see like a SWAT team of helicopters coming in to get Mr. Bowles, right? What does he like have a? Is he holding the country hostage? Maybe. Are there demands? Because his demand for me is to masturbate. That's all he says to me all night. When he beams his little laser, what do you call it? Laser speaker, right? If it hits you in the head, it will burn you, okay? If I was outside on the front lawn, it would burn me. It would burn my skin, okay? This guy, or these guys, are right around here. They're here. Now, I could yell this. Well, let's see. We're going on 3 years now. It's 2018, okay? I started in 2015. That's 3 years. Can you believe that? 3 years. 3. Now, they're linked to the correction facilities. This power grid signal they use, they call it the intercom. These are these little tiny devices that go in your teeth, right? Or they go in your skin or in your ears. Now, these are little micro miniature listening and receiving devices, okay? They put them in patients and then they harass people, okay? Okay? They're doing it. It's being done. Now, why isn't law enforcement helping people or deal with it, right? No one's come here and said, okay, Cullinan, we're going to investigate. There it is. There's the signature. Right, $5,000 pair of goggles. You put them on, you look. There it is. You know, we don't have sophisticated satellite systems in the air yet, right? I can hear the guy right now. He's on a microphone headset, watching or listening to me, and he's clearing his throat. He goes, I hear him every once in a while. He goes, like this. He goes, right. He's talking to someone, just right. I hear him. You know, it's like, right. Another guy starts going, right. That's another guy sitting there doing this. They sit around. This is what they do when they get stoned. They have nothing else to do. These devices can point a signal of almost a mile. They can actually, in clear light, with nothing done in the way, they can burn. Why? How do I know? Because they did it to me. They've been doing it for 3 years. Now, why are they doing it still? Okay? And I'm told, don't you be killing anyone now. And I said, I'm only going to kill someone that tries to kill me. And these people will not stop trying to kill me. They are trying to terminate my life, right? Put an end to me. Help me expire. They keep saying, Joe, come on, Joe. We're just trying to help you. We're just trying to help you get into heaven, to get into a better place, you know, assisted living, where you can live nice and comfortably, right? I'm telling you, 0 viewers. That's the way I like it. Somebody's listening to me out there, and they're laughing as though it's very humorous that I'm being, you know, you could take a little laser thing that you buy, those little laser pointers, and you can play with the cat, right? And you point it at the wall, and the cat sees the light, Then the cat jumps up and starts chasing the light, and you start laughing giddily, like, look at this is cute, right? You got this little laser. Now, these are the same guys. You know what they would do? They get the other laser, the burning laser. They point it at the cat, and they start burning a hole in the back of its head, and they laugh, okay? And they're like, this is cool. Check the cat's head out. It's smoking. Oh, poor kitty. Oh, it's all right. The cat's all right. It's just unconscious for like an hour, and then it gets up. Watch this, though. Oh, look at its tail. And they'll sit there and they'll burn the cat up, think it's so funny. And they're like, wow, this thing's pretty cool. Look at that. That lady's on our porch in a rocking chair. And they'll point it out the window, right? Oh, there you go. And then they'll find the lady. They'll see the little blue dot on her. And all of a sudden, the lady's sitting there, and she'll smack her or scratch her arm. You see that? We got her. Watch this now. And they'll keep going, and they'll just see, whoa, this is funny. Then they put it inside like a little camera tripod thing. They mount it. So it sits there, and they're pointing it, and they're like, check this out. There you go. We're hitting her right in the head. Oh, there she go. The lady just nodded out. Oh, she's tired. We must have made her real tired, right? And then like they'll go watch this, and then they'll start burning the lady's face up. And the other guy goes, hey, man, someone's going to find out you're doing this. He goes, no, don't worry. No one ever knows. I did it to the lady next door. I did it to that lady over there. They all got all these burns all over their body, and it looks like they're, they got a disease or something. That's the mindset of you nitwit, laughing. It's so funny because they're going to think Joseph Cullinan's crazy. How can I be crazy if you're burning my body up and you burnt my mother's body up? My mother had all these burns on her body. They burnt my mother's uterus up, caused her to have a hysterectomy. They caused damage to her blood, okay, which required her to have blood transfusions, right, every 3 weeks. They damaged her ear like they did my ear, right, where I have to turn the sound up really loud. My mother says, I can't hear the TV. She keeps buying these little plug-in amplifiers for the TV. And I'm like, that's weird. How'd you lose your hearing? Because I can't hear these high frequencies, I guess. It's kind of like it feels like you're in a tunnel or whatever. They mess up your eardrum, right? Now they did that to my mother. Now it's my turn, right? Because they're dead set to kill me. And I'm telling you, Joe Cullinan, Vershire, Vermont, 042-681686. Go ahead, use my social security number. Contact the feds. Tell them they're trying to kill me. What will they do? They'll tell you what they told me. Get a lawyer. Get a lawyer. Right? I'll say they're killing people next door. Get a lawyer. I said they're stealing people's homes and murdering people. Well, get a lawyer then. We're busy. We got a picnic next week. We got this Hillary Clinton thing and this election problem going down. We got all our resources, almost 3,000 FBI agents on this one case. Get a lawyer, Joe. I said, they're sexually abusing me. The guy next door is a molester, well known, right? He's on the sexual register list, or supposed to be, but hasn't checked in. And he keeps pointing his little light at my penis and trying to burn it up. This is only 150 feet away. And he keeps yelling, because I could hear him on this speaker laser that transmits sound. Why don't you masturbate for me, Mr. Cullinan? He calls me Joseph. He's the only one that calls me Joseph besides my mother. Joseph, why don't you masturbate, Joseph? Come on, Joseph. He used to say jerk off. He's got this weird way he talks. Joseph, why don't you jerk off for me, Joseph? Come on, Joseph, jerk off for me, right? And I'm like, why don't you use the word masturbate? Does it sound cleaner? So one day, this is 3 years ago, the guy's got this capability on this light that he has, microwave laser. He can record your responses as well as transmit his recorded responses that he gets and plays back to you. So one day he's playing some young kid, it sounded like. I guess he was showing off how smart he is. And he's got some little kid, it sounds like a young kid, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, 13, yelling, Mom, Mommy, the man's touching me, right? And then this guy starts laughing. This is a recording he got from pointing at somebody's house at a child, talking to the child while he's sleeping, telling the child, why don't you just touch yourself, Why don't you touch your penis for me, right? This guy apparently these are these laser cameras as well, so you get an image as well at 3,000 a mile away, right? They mounted on like a transit, a tripod, very, you know. So he's playing back all these recordings. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy's problem, man? So I call him the mumbler, right? Because he mumbles to children at night and then he molests them. The mumbler molester, right? Right next door to my house, trying to molest me. Don't you want a large penis, Mr. Cullinan? Don't you want to be a porno star, Mr. Cullinan? Right? Oh, I got a brainwave tone, he says. I got a signal from his brain now that we're exciting him. Or we're gonna point this at his head and we're just gonna swath it back and forth very easily with this frequency. We're gonna give him a hard on now. Right? So they point it at your head and it goes back and forth very easily with the directed energy weapon. I'm gonna give you a hard on, Mr. Cullinan. Oh, Mr. Cullinan, why don't you masturbate for me? Why don't you jerk off, Mr. Cullinan? Right? Or no, he doesn't call me Mr. Cullinan, he says Joseph. The other guy says Cullinan. That's the guy in the hill. Another guy says Joe, the girl down the road. They have this thing about jerking people off. I don't understand what it is. They want to capture some orgasmic energy release within my brain that your brain produces, the electrical field of energy that they monitor with this laser guided directed energy weapon that goes into a laptop maybe or an iPhone app. Okay, this is their pastime. This is like their hobby. This is the new thing now. You know what I mean? This is their new thing. Pet rocks are out. MP3s are out, right? That's gone. New cell phones are out. Smartphones are out. Now we're into this new directed energy weapon that you can point at people, read their medical devices, read their Obama chip, check to see who they are, right? If they have a credit card chip in their thumb, you can read that and hack into it and steal their money, right? If they have a Wi-Fi chip, you can hack into that, read the Wi-Fi chip, right? Right, Balls? The guy's laughing. You hear the nitwit? He laughs because he's like, no one can prove this, right? Balls, you're doing it, okay? It's being done. It's done deal. You're doing it. You know? So listen to him laugh. Watch. Listen. What the fuck's he talking about? These are like badasses. This one woman, every word out of her mouth is fuck, right? This is the neighbor. So this is 3 years ago. Every word out of her mouth is F-U-C-K, right? So I live approximately 300 feet away. I'm doing my laundry, hanging them on the clothesline, right? And I hear them yelling. The kid is yelling at the mother and father, right? The father's going, what the fuck's your problem? This is a 5-year-old now, okay? The little kid says, fuck you. What the fuck's your fucking problem, right? The kid storms away, shuts the door, locks it, and locks the parents outside, right? And I'm looking right down, you know, I'm like, what the hell's going on down there? And then you hear the father going, open the fucking door, you fucking whore! Open the goddamn they're yelling back and forth at the little 5-year-old that locked the parents out. Okay? This is the woman down the road, because, dude, hey, dude, man, you're fucking in trouble. You don't fuck what I fucking mean? This is fucking insane, dude. You're fucking gonna get so fucked up by us, fucking dude. You're gonna. I'm like, man, you know how to talk? What's your problem, dude? Dude. So this person says, I don't understand what he's talking about. I don't understand who he's talking to. I'm recording this. Directed Energy Weapons in Vershire, Vermont on YouTube. This will go to my site on YouTube, Joseph Cullinan, Joseph Cullinan, okay? I've got over a month now of them harassing, and I am, recording the response of my body, okay? Now, I've been sitting at my computer now for almost 10 minutes. That's about the time it takes for them to reline stuff, because they have to move it. And imagine now you've got a camera, you know, this is a long-range camera. If you want to understand how it works, get your camera out that has 52X on it, right? Try to point at something in your hand. Digital zoom, you can't. No way. Right? No way. Put it on a tripod, right? Set it to 52, and you're like, oh, geez, check that out. The image quality is actually pretty good. Now put body detect on it. Okay? Now what does that do? Now it keeps the image right inside. We'll keep the focus on the image, right? This could be at what? Oh, I don't know, say 1,000 yards, right? And you'll have a pretty good image. Now, can you do that with your hand? No, it has to be on some kind of tripod device. Now, what they are doing now is I've moved now, so they have to realign their tripod device, meaning they have to move it because it's locked in. Sometimes they're like, I'm not going to move it because I got to point it toward his bed, and we keep it locked at his bed. So what I have to do is move my bed around or move all this shielding that I have around where I stay, you know? And you'll see I'm getting an adapter for my camera, and I'm going to start to broadcast this live from inside. And I'm going to have some more display equipment that demonstrates the signals entering the building, documented electronic test equipment that actually shows that there's a signal coming into the building that should not belong in a home, like radon. Radon shouldn't be inside the basement. There's a test kit for it. Carbon monoxide should not be in a home. There's a carbon monoxide detector that activates, okay? Fire, smoke should not be in a home. There's a smoke detector, okay? Now, my invention is going to be a laser directed energy beam weapon detector. Why? Because you can detect it as I can. You can detect it with a simple motion detector and hooking a light bulb up to it. And you point it out the window, and you sit there and watch your light bulb. Suddenly, the light will turn on. Bink. And you're like, how did that happen? There's nothing moving because it's a passive infrared detector. It passively detects it, meaning it's not active. Active means it projects the signal. Passive means it just sits there and absorbs energy, okay? The little plastic curvy thing, that's called a laser diffuser, okay? That diffuses the light that comes in and creates a wide-angle view into that little tiny sensor inside, okay? Now, that guy burnt up my passive infrared motion detector that I set up to monitor his attack. Why? Because every time he would point it at it, it would turn on. And then that would piss him off, and he would call the police and say, my neighbor keeps turning his light on and off. And the cops apparently would think this guy is sane, right? Because his buddy is a cop, right? The cop, right? So he keeps going, and he tries to burn it out. Lo and behold, he doesn't burn it out. All he does is burn that protective, passive infrared light diffuser, right? What's going on now, Dave? Where's it going? Dave, where are you going? Pick up a gallon of milk, okay? And some dog food for Dell. It's Sunday up here, right? Right? Normally, right? I got a visual impairment, so I'm on disability. I can't work. Okay? I'm limited in my activities. I do what I got to do to stay alive. You know? These guys, they're not. They're workers, but they don't work. A lot of them don't even work. They sit home all day. Okay? I think there might be 100 people in this town right now. This little town right here. Very small area. These power lines that you see in that picture, in the summertime, right now the temperature is very cold, okay? Frequency is very temperature affected. Coefficient, they call it the temperature coefficient of a RF signal. You know, oscillators are affected by cold, you know? Frequencies are affected by the cold. Now, when this warms up in the spring and the summer, those wires right there are like two long guitar wires, right? They will start to hum, and then they'll start to ring, and then they'll put off this very loud, high-frequency tone. It's being generated from the 2 smart meters on each side of those wires, right? And then it will just ring, 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 ring. And it's a distraction. It's a harassment tone. Just going. And I keep saying to people around the area, do you hear that tone? You hear that sound? One jogger goes by and says, no, I don't hear nothing. And then she sits there and she listens and she goes, gee, yeah, I hear that. You know? Another guy stops by and I go, do you hear that? He goes, no, I don't hear nothing. I don't feel nothing. I'm like, well, you've only been here for 2-3 minutes, you know? And then I'm watching him and you can see his face is starting to like cringe a little bit, like he's picking up a distraction, right? Some people know it's there because they're purposely putting it in, you know? Other people are like, oh, I don't hear nothing. I don't know anything going on in this town. I'm like, you know, do you remember my house 2 years ago? I had so much, I boarded up all my windows and I put this Mylar reflective panels up and all this stuff around my house, yet nobody knows what's going on at Cullinan's, right? Except that he's acting strange, right? You know, and that his house is burnt down now, that they finally burnt him out. That's on the Joe Cullinan covert audio files there, right? Now Cullinan's burnt out. What are we going after next? Well, we're going down to that house on the left. That's the house down on the left for mine. I come back after my house burnt down in the summer after I was evicted, so I couldn't stay down south anymore because my family loves me so much. They said, get out of Mom's house, right? So there's a jet up in the top corner. I think that's somebody I know. Hello! So anyway, oh, what'd you say? I got a copy on me. See, these nitwits, they're delusional. Whenever I see something, for some reason, they have this this Google thought chip, they call it. So visual speech, so they pick up on it. And when I see something, they will comment on it as though I'm listening to them, but I am. But if I wasn't listening to them, they would still comment because it goes into your brain subliminally, subconsciously, and it creates kind of like a harassing kind of subconscious, uneasy harassment, you know? What's this guy talking about? I hear them too. They don't understand. This one guy's got a laser pointed at my house, right? Laser, directed energy beam weapon that he uses for listening. And they don't understand that the same laser that they use to listen transmits sound in the room. You know what I mean? So you can sit this up, point it, right? And sit right near it and say, and talk, you know, what is going on? And I can hear them on this radio thing, you know? And I keep telling them, do you understand? I hear you. Now you're transmitting sound, okay? I'm recording it with this microphone. Right now you can't really hear it too well. But I'm recording it. Now, if someone was to analyze the sound, you will hear these covert signals. Now, the only one that can do that I can think of is like the FBI, the CIA, or the NSA, okay? Or someone in law enforcement in the area who does covert surveillance. Now, there it goes. I just picked a high frequency up in my ear, which means somebody has now found me. It's approximately 10 minutes. Now I will move, right? They will now have to move it back to where I was, and it pisses them off. Boy, it pisses them off because now they have to relocate, find where I go. And they're like, one day I did this for 6 hours straight. I kept moving from one side to the other side. And this guy starts getting so pissed off. He's like, fuck this shit. And he's like, that's it. And he goes, I'm getting another laser out. So now he's got 2 pointed at me. One where I'm sitting, one in another spot. And then he's like, fuck this. He gets the Wi-Fi face tracker software laser pointer, mounts it in one of those Wi-Fi pan tilt devices. And now he just tracks my movement by putting that little square on my body. And now the device, you hook the camera into the device, right? You loop it through. Now you can use your camera to use the pan tilt device, and it will literally track you wherever you move by using your camera. A simple, cheap point-and-shoot camera, right? Hooked on a little Wi-Fi pan and tilt device, hooped right through, will then broadcast right on Wi-Fi. But what they do then is they mount a little laser right onto the camera as well. So now they have what? A little high-powered harassment laser with a little microwave injected signal that when they pan tilt, So now they could walk away, and this thing will just track them around his property and his house, and they sit and they laugh their ass off. So now I'm getting a slight headache now. So now I have to stop broadcasting since I started, which is how long now? See, my hands are starting to go numb because I can't grab the mouse. So that's a loss of motor functions are starting. But I usually push. There goes another jet right there. Now this jet's following a little strange direction. Normally they go this way. So how long have I been transmitting for? Okay. Hello! The people down here want to tell you that they can see you on a camera. Where are you going? The West Coast? What's up? What's up? Is that Taylor Swift's plane? In from the West Coast, then why are you going west? Fucking idiot. So that's 3 jets. It's 1:16 p.m. Let's see. Where do you think they're coming from? All right. That's actually live. Is that moving or that? No, that's going slower. I think he turned around. Let's see. That thing's creeping slow. There it goes. That must be up there. Right? Big jet. That's moving really slow. Ooh, that's cruising slow. That's probably a jumbo. That's probably a 747, right? Probably one of those big things, right, Bill Murray? That's probably one of those real big jets. Oh, boy. Oh, look at that jet move. Oh, that thing really turns me on. Oh, that's a big jet. Oh, that's a big jet. If I had a better camera, I bought another camera, but it didn't work. Cheap camera. If I had a night vision camera better than this one, I'd probably be able to see it. But the night sky is not really accessible. But I could. Occasionally you see the moon. Right? That's about it. Well, those flights are coming from east to west, right? That would indicate it's probably coming from England, right? So they left 5 hours ago. Well, that's the red eye then. That would be like the red eye. Red eye from London, England, is arriving in Kennedy. We will be landing on runway, approximately 30 minutes. I hope you've enjoyed flying with us. Please fly with us again. You hear that high frequency? That was a feedback transmission that was picking up there. The mic started going a high pitched feedback. That's data, probably. If someone knew how to do that, I don't know how to do that. This is obviously a recording. There's no one live, but in my demise, I hope I remain in those eyes, whoever those eyes are. Oh, here comes another jet. They keep acting like there's all these people coming into town. This one's up there. Look at that one cruising. Oh, greetings, and you're flying over Vermont right now. Down below is a war zone occupied by the Shadow Group. These are a group of individuals called confidential informants, or controlled individuals, or brainwashed. Most of them are creatures of the dark, drug addicts. Most of them are morons. Okay, we've got a flight outbound. I hope you enjoyed your stay in the United States. Be careful of the indigenous species below you in Vermont. They are very dangerous. They are using laser-guided, directed signals for interpreting the data on the aircraft. Please report any contacts in the ground below. Okay, this guy is now heading outbound. He picked up his groceries and he's heading back. You hear that? This guy goes, Joseph. Cool. Just like, he sounds like a. This is what you remember when you were in high school. You know, you're like in one of these frat house parties or something in college. Joseph, Colin, think he's so fucking funny. This is what the guy sounds like. I'm like, are you scary? Are you supposed to be scaring me? It's going to be scaring you. Do I scare me? I'm biased. Now this group has the same MO as that group that they discovered burglarizing the center of the country. They would refer to each other as though they were a military operation. They would call each other the general, the captain, the sheriff, right? So they would talk to themselves because people would hear them and they would think, gee, this must be a legitimate conversation. Now that's what this one guy keeps saying. He's a nitwit. And one guy thinks he's a sheriff. He thinks he's a deputy sheriff. He's deputy dog, okay? So when he talks to people, he will talk on this channel like, oh, I'm the sheriff now. And his own people get scared and think he's an actual cop. And then the guy has to say, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. And they're like, boy, you're scaring me. Why do you keep doing that to us? You know? So my mother had the same problem down in Beacon where I went. Same setup, same equipment, same signature. When I went down there, I felt the same attack. I didn't have the panel set up, so I bought mylar and plastic, and I set up a rudimentary kind of jamming blocking. It worked, but they were still able to penetrate through because they were very close there. Now, my mother lasted almost 6 years, okay? She had absolutely no idea what was happening, unlike me, who was aware. So she got burnt up really bad, okay? She lasted 6 years, okay? I've been going now. They burnt my face up on Solve the Neck Bass on WordPress, okay? I have images of what my neck looked like. This goes back almost, say, 10 years now. They started. They caused damage to my spaces in my face. It caused all these weird injuries to occur in my body. I had no idea where they were coming from. I just thought I was sick, you know. But now I know it's from this laser microwave guided device that burns your skin up, you know. So my mother must have been attacked the same time as me, you know, in and out of the hospital for surgeries. Now she died from her injuries, right? They of course, the way their game is, they make it look like it's some underlining other injury that they try to mimic, because no one would ever fathom or think somebody would be doing this. Now, no one's ever statistically analyzed the data and determined how all these elderly people and disabled are dying. They just assume it's their time to die, right? And it's over. Now, in my case, right, my mother took 6 years to kill, okay? I'm now shielding, right? So I estimate my death probably in, say, 6 to 10 years, okay? Now, this group has been doing me now for 20 years, right? Very slow with microwave. They upped it to laser guided microwave, which caused it to be much more dangerous. Now, this same group used to harass people with the microwave audio system into the civilians of the United States, you know? And they'd put these tooth dental things in, because you always hear about it. Marsha, 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 right? Remember the Brady Bunch where Jan had braces put on, and she was hearing voices in her head because the braces picked up the radio signal? Same concept, but these are little micro miniature chips that they put on your tooth or in your teeth. They pick up the signal, and it actually vibrates the jaw and goes right into the ear, right? That's the old school stuff of just sending shit into your head to give you a hard time. They've upped it now. These are all infrared, microwave, Wi-Fi, 4G, right? Micro miniature. Some of them are nanotechnology. They're doing it. It's an abuse of technology. I could hear the guy out here laughing because he thinks it's so funny he hasn't got caught yet. But he's sitting in some safe location, right, which he thinks is safe, with all his buddies around like the big gangsters do, doing coke, drinking, probably got scores on their laps, playing billiards, you know, they probably have a old styled arcade machines around, you know, like Tony Montana, you know. They're like Tony Montana dealing drugs, saying, gee, those coppers are never going to get to me, you know. And if they do, say hello to my little friend, you know. Say hello to my little friend. One other thing about Vershire, Vermont. Okay, this area just got FiOS, fiber optic, about 3-4 years ago. Before that, it had real dial-up with nothing, no DSL. You had satellite, and you had the power grid signal. Now, right after they got this FiOS up here. So most likely some of these signals are coming in on a fiber optic signal up to the area, retransmitted on the power line with a power injector, power line injector of some sort that allows them to communicate on the power lines, right? Now there's obviously up here in the mountains, there is a control room where someone's got a lot of expensive equipment set up, right? And they have, now DSL is good for 14,000 feet. That's roughly what? Say 3 miles from my house. That's a DSL signal. Now power lines, I would assume it's probably the same thing. Okay, you might get 3 miles out of a BPL signal, broadband over power lines, because they're using the power lines as well through the smart meters, and they have like repeaters. So they've hacked into these modems that are on the power lines, right, which are fed through the FiOS. So you conceivably now have the hacked-in modems that are on the poles with a fiber optic link to you guys, some of you who may be anywhere in the country, but you're not the control room. You're on your little iPhone app, right, or your iPad, but there's a control room up here who has to control this area, because he's got to inject his signal in. Now, some of these signals, one of them or two of them, they come from a satellite or broadcast antennas using huge microwave feed horns that just radiate out into the distance, okay? I pick up a signal from out to the, say, you look to the left of that van right there, that little tree, where that tree is right there, way out to the left. Now, there's a signal that comes from there, up high, comes high down. There's no houses there. I detect that signal. There's another one that comes from the north, Mount Mansfield, they call it. That's Mount Ascutney. That could be Rutland. Then there's Mount Ascutney. These have towers. Now, Mount Mansfield has a tower that's 1,800 feet up. Okay? Now, if they put one of these little laser devices, pan tilt, they literally can just swoop around and look at anyone they want. Or if they put a feed horn up that has 16 by 16 channels, you could hit that many homes, or 320 homes, whatever. What's 16 times 16 times 16? And they just sit there, little lights go into your home, and they just listen to you, or listen to your implanted devices, and they talk to you, and they make believe that the Burlington doctors were just checking on your status, Mr. Collin. talking about, I don't know if you hear it. He's talking about this woman, Miss Perkins, was down the road. Perknut, Corey and Vito Perkins, right? I don't think they're married. They have 2 kids, but the woman, I never saw her pregnant, right? I don't know how she got a kid. So this woman plays that Chicken Little thing, make believe she's afraid. Okay, the neighborhood has caught the woman and the husband stealing stuff on cameras. Okay, the woman's acting like, oh, I'm so afraid that this neighbor's gonna cause. The woman's a fucking thief, and so is the husband. They're drug dealers. They don't get it. We know what you are. The whole neighborhood knows what you are. And we don't understand why and how you're allowed to exist the way you do. And we don't get it. You just keep breaking into the same fucking home. You don't kick the door in, you pick the lock, you go in and you steal their food. The people come back up after 3 months being away and all the food's gone. It's like everyone watches you do this. They hear you on this channel. I've been listening to you for 2 fucking years, you nitwits. I've heard Bowles hook up. He was stalking some house. He goes, what are we going to do with this old lady? She's been dead now for a couple of weeks. And I'm listening to this shit. I'm like, are these guys playing games? No. No. You don't get it. They're fucking actually killing fucking people and stealing their stuff. They're nickel and dime and dead people. They're not even that wealthy. They think, gee, this is going to be my home. Do you pay taxes? No. They have no intention of paying taxes. They just have an intention of occupying it till the homeowner shows up or till the town occupies the house and kicks them out. Okay, we have a race going here. We have two jets in the upper center corner there. Apparently, they're racing for position to Kennedy. Who will be the winner? And it looks like one on the left seems to be cruising a little bit faster. Oh, there's one on the right's catching up. And let's see if they can bump the other one out of alignment. And they're probably, this could be a good race into JKK. Now this one seems to be coming out of the south, what did I say, southeast. Who would be southeast right now? I wonder, what would that be? Probably Boston. What do you think? Now these are probably flying into, wherever they're flying, to pick up people that want to go to Boston. Or maybe these are the Boston people, right? She shut right up when I started talking. You notice that? Because the nitwits gotta listen. Gotta eavesdrop. Edith Cramden. Edith Cramden, you're under arrest. So the nosies want to know what I'm doing, right? I'm drinking progressive turkey noodle soup with 2 grilled cheese sandwiches with mayonnaise and mustard again. Okay? These guys have to know what I'm doing. They have to know. If they don't know, they get real panicky and they start like asking questions. What are you doing? What are you doing? Because your brain will subtly answer the question back without you thinking about it. Then you subconsciously say what you're doing. If you're not aware, you know? It's like, so what's your passbook number? What's your credit card number? What's your credit card number? And they'll keep doing this. What's your credit card number? Right? People don't know it, but they think someone's going to know it. Right? Go shopping. They'll say, go shopping. Go shopping. Go shopping. Go shopping. They'll say that for hours. Go shopping. Let's go to the store. 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 Don't you see something at the store? Don't you see something? Because they want to get you to do something. Because then they get all excited. Like, oh, it's pretty cool. Do you see that? We got him to go to the store. Right? Another guy's like, I've been working this guy now for 10 hours, telling him to go to the bathroom. He finally got up, went right in and took a pee. I said, I am so powerful with this stuff. I am so smart. I make people go to the bathroom. You know? Another guy's, oh, boy, you're pretty good. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. You're real good. You're real smart. Boy, this is real good. This is good stuff. We're pretty smart, aren't we? I don't know if I never noticed this before, just the weather pattern, but there's another plane coming in. Now this is coming out that direction, which is east to west, which indicates that it's the Christmas season's over, right? Time to get back to work, right? All holidays done, right? There's a lot of people flying in. I guess it's the second week, right? Everyone had the week off, right? I guess so. Well, this nitwit says in the background is, that's Taylor Swift up there. That's Taylor Swift. Is it, Joe? Give her a call on her phone, Joe. Right? And then he goes, this ain't working. And I say, who are you supposed to be? He goes, I'm supposed to be Taylor Swift. And I'm like, you don't sound like her. You sound like an old man that's got a big fucking problem. Oh, you don't have to be mean to me. And the guy just says, I don't know if anyone could hear this. This is what you got to listen for. Taylor Swift has no comment. That's this nitwit, whoever it is. Return comment to me. This is like a war of the world, a war of the words, back and forth. Right? I say stuff, they say stuff. I insult them, they insult me. Right? I don't point weapons at them. They point weapons at me. You know? You hear that? This guy is like, why don't you call? Like, call who? Why don't you? He wants me to call him because he's going to make believe. Hi. Oh, is that you, Joe? You're so famous.